Today's event has been hosted by Intercede and supported by King & Wood Mallesons, and we're going to be talking about the implications of reliance on simple password-based authentication.
Technology is being integrated into the fiber of everyday life. We will forget, but the cloud doesn't forget. We've all conceded to putting everything that's of importance to us in the web. While there's a lot of advantages to it, we have to be very careful with who controls it and how it's controlled and who has access. So trust becomes really fundamental. It's not about the technology, it's about what we do with it.
It's a mix of perspectives because obviously the customer wants to feel very safe and secure, and yet the retailer wants to make it as easy as possible for you to order from them. Some companies have fraud police, and their job is just to figure out any way of avoiding fraud. Again, a major part of that is pushing the risk off to somebody else.
It's incumbent upon us as industry leaders and governing bodies to make sure that the appropriate safeguards are in place for people.
Consumers need to believe that organisations are doing everything they reasonably can to protect the information from theft or unauthorised access.
The Centre of Economics and Business Review suggested that annually its cost, just cybercrime alone, is costing UK business 34 billion.
We do have a number of initiatives at a European level to actually increase the standards of cybersecurity and protection of personal data at a European level. And the first one of those is that there's a new general data protection regulation that's currently being negotiated at a European level. And amongst other things, that will increase the potential fines that businesses can suffer for data breaches. And at the moment, the figures that are being mooted are around 2% of worldwide turnover, which is a significant remedy.
You actually have to build cyber resilience and cyber security in from the ground up. It's got to be baked into your product.
So yes, mobile apps are a good thing. They're absolutely out there, they're absolutely used, but if we didn't need to worry about the security, nobody would be sat in this room at the moment. So yes, we absolutely need to worry about the security around them. And the fundamental problem out there initially is the password. So even if you as a service provider properly do what you can to protect those passwords, they've probably been used on 5, 6, 7, 8 other sites. It only takes one of them to lose that information. And there will be machines out there on the internet replaying those against all the other services. One of them's going to get in.
As mobile apps get more and more integrated into what's important in our lives, think medical data, think financial data, think all of those kind of things, it becomes ever more an issue and ever more of a challenge to secure it.
We as an industry need to expect that we need to do things smarter to relieve the user of that burden.
I think the exciting thing for me about mobile is the opportunity that exists to do things differently from the sort of old world of the password. You immediately have two potential sources of authentication. You've got yourself, and then you've got secure data stored in the phone itself, both of which together can be used to authenticate who you are, potentially using techniques that don't require a password.
So you have this challenge, which is provide the simplest experience and that people feel comfortable. Hey, I've gone all the way through and I've bought something, which Amazon do very, very well, but make that scalable.
So I think what consumers are looking for is they don't want to deal with the security. They want somebody to solve that problem for them, but it can't get in the way. It has to make their life easier. The fact that the devices are starting to have more and more security capabilities built in is absolutely true. 5, 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. Today, the phone in your pocket is capable of probably being a lot more secure than the PC that sat on your desk at home.
There's an opportunity here to design in a lot more security at point of manufacture, so take it out of the hands of the individual to make decisions on keeping the system secure and build it in by design.
All of that kind of technology and the layers of software that companies like Trust On It, Intercede build on top of that, all of that exists today.
So we're introducing Rapid. We call it Rapid. Is there a way that we can replace passwords with something more secure and convenient, enabling digital trust from any mobile device? So the developer takes our SDK and they use the SDK with a single line of code that's all that they need to authenticate a user. A secure, easy way to implement authentication solution for mobile apps And for service providers, they can quickly deploy strong authentication services for mobile apps with minimal effort. That's the goal. Make the security better and make the convenience really, really strong. There's really two principal aspects to this. One, you want to continue the enrollment using existing customing onboarding methods. This is really critical. As we've started talking to people, they're comfortable with it. There's a lot of out-of-band ways to do this. We don't necessarily want to change that. But then subsequent authentication is automatic, using a simple PIN or fingerprint with a digital identity that's held securely on the device.
Ultimately, it's consumers we need to satisfy. So with that in mind, what tangible steps can you take to deliver strong digital trust to your customers, your consumers, your enterprises this year? To test a model for stronger trust and to consign passwords into the trash can of history. We want this to be an information sharing experience, so we want to get as many companies involved as possible so we can share the experience of, does what you've heard here, does it really work? Does it provide a way forward? Because I am convinced we need to do something as an industry.